him on Lucas over a tenth of a second fast.
Hello and welcome back to Formula Trout. It has been a long time, but the sun is shining and we are here down under for the DAC Racing Australian Grand Prix and the start of Season 11 for the Formula Trout League, where Assetto Corsa's best and finest drivers convene once in a while to get in some Formula 1 style cars and show what they've got out on track. My name is Ross McIntyre. It's a pleasure to be back here, and joining me in the virtual commentary booth is league owner Kilgore Trout. Kilgore, it's great to have you alongside me. We're back. You must be feeling super pumped for this one.
Yeah, the adrenaline is definitely running through the veins right now, hopefully for the right reasons. But yeah, qualifying's just begun and season 11 is underway. It's quite exciting. It's like you said, it's been a long time coming, but hey ho, Melbourne, here we are, and we've got loads of cars on track. We had 30 cars registered, so it's going to be quite chaotic trying to keep track of everything, but I'll hand the reins over to you, Ross.
It is going to be chaos, to say the least. That is right, 30 registered entries for the opening round of Season 11 here at the Albert Park circuit. For round one of the Series 11, the 2023 season. Do excuse me if that's what you want to call it. And of course, as with all Formula Trout, we've got a fantastic list of tracks we're heading to. Of course, we've got Melbourne, then we're heading to the Red Bull Ring in a few weeks, going to Kyalami, Fuji, Silverstone, Marina Bay in Singapore, Spa, Monza, the Circuit of the Americas, Yas Marina Circuit, and Interlagos to end the season off on the 9th of December. And there is also one round which is yet to be confirmed what circuit that is going to be at. 12 races to look forward to this year in Formula Trout, as we're on board with the magical Maxi Younger, now racing for CRG, and he is out there doing his thing, currently sitting P6 on the timing sheet. Of course, this is Albert Park and it's very early on in qualifying, and this is a track that does like to evolve very quickly. Of course, it's the newer version of Albert Park as well, so we've banished some of the chicanes. It's a lot faster nowadays, as you can see. Well over 320 mile an hour coming into the daunting left-right complex there as Maxi gets it wrong, manages to catch it. Anyway, should we talk about what's going on then? Season 11. So, of course, first of all, the car. We've gone back to RSS. We are using the RSS Formula Hybrid 2023 this season as the car of choice. Every driver out there, every team is using the same car as we're on board with the man currently on provisional pole, Lily Pom, I believe it's pronounced. My French does need some revision, so let me know, any friends of Lenny, if that is different. But we're using the RSS Formula 2023 Hybrid. That thing, you know, it's made by Racing Studios, the boys and girls over there who do a fantastic job every single year with their Formula Hybrid series of cars. Of course, based off the current Formula 1 regulations. This is supposed to imitate a 2023 Formula 1 car, but in Assetto Corsa. That's about it, really. Of course, free tyre choice as well from C1 to C5. It's not limited like in Formula 1, so you can use any tyres that you want, and in qualifying, it's, again, free reign. C5 being the softest compound, C1 being the hardest compound of tyre to choose from. But the top 10 must start the race on the tyre that they qualify on. And the C5s can do about 3 laps before they're toast. So just adds a bit of strategy into the offense. We're not really sure what the strategy is going to be, but it looks like the C3 is the primary race tyre to be on. There's Jan Dragoon just running wide a bit. I think letting a few cars coming through, heading into the middle sector there. But he makes his way once again. There's William Knowles going very slowly, coming into the pit lane as he makes his way through, and actually he's causing a bit of a traffic jam behind him as well. On board Matty Rosen, currently P16, 2 and a bit seconds off of the fastest time at the moment, set by Lely Papon. And well, the team Papon is driving with, Trinity Motorsports, I think we've got to have a talk about them. It's a new team to Formula Trout, an all-French team, so all French drivers, all French management, teams from France, says all you need to know really. But they've been around the block before in Assetto Corsa, and they are really, really quick. They're looking very fast in practice, and they could be very, very dangerous coming through. Of course, last year's reigning champions as well, Junge GP. They'll be looking to have a decent season, but there's been a few driver transfers here and there, so it could be a change of the guard potentially. Obviously, Oxtan, a new driver lineup this season as we go on board with once again Maxi Junge, the team boss over at Junge GP. Oxtan, Mr. Kilgore Trout's personal team, but don't worry, there's no scripting, there's no making sure Oxtan win every race. They obviously dominated the championship last year with Steven Stevenson, who has then decided he's had enough and wants to explore other ventures, so he's not running this season for the time being. They managed to pull together a lineup which is pretty decent, I'd like to think. I mean, Kilgore, obviously, you're the team boss, so I'm going to be nice. But of Oliver Gibson and Alex Cochrane. But Oliver Gibson not out there tonight, so it's just Alex Cochrane representing the Oxtan outfit. And they were looking to repeat their successes from last year. Lightning Racing, once again, Kees Willems heading that Dutch squad with Tygo Poot alongside him in the number 99 car. Bag Motorsports looking strong once again, the formidable Brazilian duo of Giovanni Amorim and Gustavo Dalle Valle back behind the wheel. Junge GP, Hermes Rees and Jan Dragoon, a pretty strong lineup there. So we're going to have to see how that all unfolds. Griffin Gaming once again running with Christoph Berzer and Philippe Olsen with Andre Schilder as the reserve driver. Agnes Rositis and Cyprian Stoyan in their academy car. And they've also now got a junior team with Aaron Mardy and Cooper Phillips. And then Junge GP, they also have a junior team now as well with Uthman Badmus from Nigeria and Ali Gokman, the Turkish driver, Carlos Skoumanis, their reserve for the upcoming season. X Plus Formula Racing, a new team on the block, but with two staples of Formula Trout. They've done very well to manage to convince Tommy Ilatalo and Jordi Lawis to come on board for their efforts this season. Diamondback Racing fielding an all-American lineup of Andy Moreno and William Knowles. Kings Racing with James Kay and Leslie Peters with Stephen Hebner as reserve driver. Another new team there with a pretty healthy lineup of drivers. The Bag Academy, once again with Adam Woodward and Matthias Morgado. And looking elsewhere down the grid, we've got Hyper R, a new Israeli team with Matty Rosen and Ariel Dorfman coming in. Rising Sun Racing, once again employing Carter Jackson with Jacob Cleach alongside. Horizon Racing team, Thomas Marshall back in the car with Mars Valzem. No Finlandia as well, Anthony Penn, the American, and Lars Reutz alongside him. So a lot of American representation on the grid this year. Formula Trout's always been pretty popular with the American sim races in Assetto Corsa, so great to see so many of them here as well. And of course that Trinity Motorsport all-French squad that I mentioned, Thomas Barbary and Eric Andre and Lely Papant, though three drivers that they've employed for this season. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all unfolds. And I can't go and not talk about DAC Racing at the race that is named after them. Somebody has committed a murder. That is Ariel Dorfman, the Israeli driver, has had a spin and somebody came flying around the corner and just T-boned him. That was not good. Hopefully Ara's alright. There you go. He's now just teleported himself back to the pits. But that was a monster collision that you don't want to be seeing in a qualifying session. We are 7 minutes in, and well, it is a strong lap time at the moment from Casey Laurenti. Lenny Papon in P2, only a few tenths off on board with the Brazilian Giovanni Amorim for Bag Motorsports. He'll be doing a great job as always, constantly in the top 10 is Giovanni, a very quick driver. It's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds. Again, the track is getting quicker and quicker. So only time will tell how it's all going to unfold. Of course, we all know how it runs here in Formula Trout. It's qualifying and there's the race. Pretty simple, a 200-kilometre race. I believe that comes into around about 34 laps, if my maths serves me correctly. I will just double check that. 34 laps, there you go. God, I'm good, aren't I? And of course, this being the first runnings this season as we're on board with Anthony Penn, who's currently P17. First time to get a look at the drivers and see the work they've been doing in the off-season and just see how everything is going, how everything is running. As Anthony Penn comes to the line now, he's not going to be on pole, but he's going to stick it into the top 8. And he will now get demoted by Maxi Younger, so he drops down to 9th place with that qualifying run. Again, just to remind you, those in the top 10 must start the race on the tyre that they set their best qualifying lap on. As here we see Gustavo Dalla Valle currently in P12. The other Bag Motorsports driver, the all-Brazilian effort with 2 fine Brazilians behind the wheel. Of course, it doesn't have to be the same exact set of tyres, because the Seto Corsa, you can't do that in this sim, but it must be the same tyre compound if you're in the top 10. So if you set a, your fastest lap, let's say on the C4 compound, and you start 7th, then you will be starting on the C4 compound in the race, and you must do that or face the wrath of the stewards and probably get quite a hefty penalty for being a naughty boy. Few minutes left to run now. Gustavo Dalla Valle just coming to the line. He was just starting a lap, rather, should I say. Actually, no, he's not. He's just set a lap and goes to P4. A very strong lap there. Here is Lenny Papon. He's currently a 10th and a bit up on his personal best, but it is not going to be enough to stick up on the front row if the delta is to be correct. As Barbier slots into 3rd place behind. These Trinity guys doing a very good job on their first outing here in Formula Trout. Gets it slightly wrong. Coming out of the right-hander into the final section now, so it might have cost him a bit of time. And the delta is flicking this way and that way. He's just actually gained a chunk and he's abandoned the lap.
He thinks he's got more in him. He definitely has more in him.
Yeah.
And he probably won't have enough time to, if he was to, stick it. Who knows? Maybe he would have, but it's a close strategic call.
It is indeed. Here we see Cody out there, Cody Lawrence, the younger GP hopeful, another American out there, and he's currently sat on the pole position. Obviously, we have had an American win before in Formula Trout, so he doesn't get that. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the honour of potentially being the first American to win in Formula Trout. Jace Merrick took a win a few seasons ago and was absolutely delighted with his efforts. But still, Cody Lawrence for Younger GP looking very fast at the moment as we're on board with James K from South Africa. Currently P14, he'll be hoping to improve. Now Kilgore, obviously a new season of Formula Trout coming in. So you've been hard at work behind the scenes, organising all of it. What are you most excited coming into, season 11? What's the big thing that you're, most proud of? What are you looking forward to?
Just everything going smoothly, honestly. Hats off to everyone involved behind the scenes. Alex has really kind of come through this season, and then helped carry us forth this whole year, in fact. So yeah, honestly, just hoping everything goes smoothly, and that's all I can say, really. And I know it's not a very exciting answer, but maybe that's just the anxiety in me talking.
I'm sure it'll all be fine as Ariel Dorfman there in the pits after his massive collision earlier. Gustavo Dalla Valle currently in P7, 8/10 of a second off of the provisional pole time with a little over 2 minutes left to run. So it's going to be interesting how it all unfolds. Gustavo Dalla Valle, of course, Bag Motorsport, phenomenal team. They'll be looking to go well here today down under. And of course, this is the RSS Formula Hybrid 23. First time we've used these 2023, or these new regulations, should I say. And it's going to be interesting how it all unfolds. We'll have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see.
CRG car definitely holding up the Oxtan then. Oh, and Alex getting a bit... I'm not going to say that the CRG was definitely in his head, but...
Yeah, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. But round he goes with Just over a minute left to run. We're going to have to wait and see how it all unfolds. Here is Jan Dragoon.
Sorry.
And now Thomas Barbary. No, it's no problem. Thomas Barbary currently P4 for Trinity in the 828 car. It's the first time that I can remember that we've had a car number of triple digits here in Formula Trout. So that's quite interesting to see. And he's currently P4 as well. And let's see if he can move up, as he'll be probably on his final lap.
Yeah, doesn't look like he's got the time in him. Jan Dragoon is coming into the pits actually. Let's go on board with Lenny, who's also has a chance of getting on pole tonight.
Indeed, Lenny Pont was running very, very strong as well. Of course, Cody Lawrence coming through. Jan Dragoon as well with a strong lap. But Lenny Pont, he is flying out there in that 58 Trinity car. What has he got in his locker? Can he do the business and on his first ever Formula Trout appearance come through and take a pole position here in Australia? Only time will tell as he makes his way through the middle sector.
It's purple in the
And
first sector.
Up. Yeah, he is up. So a little bit of time left to run as he comes now through this newest section of track. The getting up to the top end of 8th gear, they'll be peaking over 320 kilometers an hour, and then downshift into 6th gear for the fearsome left-right flick at what was formerly turns 12 and 13.
Cody's purple in the middle sector.
He is. Cody Lawrence then moving as well, so many drivers pushing the top. Listen to how much revs Lenny Pont is using as he comes into the final section, uses all the track, swings the front end in. Is this going to be enough for pole position? We know that Cody Lawrence is on a lap. Lenny Pont, he will come to the line. Can he beat the 117 dead? Yes, he can. It's 116.8. A great lap by Lenny Pont. He will go on to provisional pole. But what can Cody Lawrence do as he makes his way round? Where is Cody Lawrence?
Cody Lawrence comes through second. He, 2/10 off.
Barbary. Yeah, so Cody Lawrence won't be on pole. Thomas Barbary, though, flying as well as he comes into the final sector in that 828. It could be a Trinity 1-2 here if he's totally through the final section. Who's going to be taking the pole position over to 116.8 to beat Thomas Barbary to the line? No! Could only manage third. 3/10 off. It will be Cody Lawrence starting in second place. And I do not think anybody else is on a lap which could be close enough. Maxi Junger is going.
Yeah, that's it.
But no, he's not pushing. Maxi's backed out. He is not on a push. And that will be it for your qualifying session for the opening round of the Formula Trout season here in Australia. What a great lap there by Lenny Pont to stick it on the pole. Phenomenal stuff. And as well, Cody Lawrence getting very close, preventing that Trinity 1-2. Superb. So obviously big congratulations to those at the front and to your pole sitter Lenny Pont as well, with a great lap out there in that Trinity car. What a way to make a statement. He's turned up and gone, right, I'm here, we're going to do this my way now. And that is phenomenal stuff. That will be it then for your qualifying. We'll be having a few short moments before we head over into the race session, and it'll be 34 laps of racing here at the Albert Park circuit to look forward to. The drivers just making their way back to the pits now. But wow, what a qualifying session we have just seen there. It will be Lenny Pont sat on the pole position with a phenomenal lap there. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Alongside him, Cody Lawrence, Thomas Barbary in P3, Jan Dragoon P4, Gustavo Dalla Valle will be 5th, with Philip Olsen 6th, Maxi Junger is 7th, Giovanni Amore with 8th, David Sikloven is 9th, and then in P10 it will be Maximilian, or Christoph Berzer rather, rounding out your top 10. So those have been the 10 starting on the compound that they started, or completed their final lap in. Mr. Kilgore Trout. Yeah, alongside me in the commentary box. Who have you got your eye out for? If you were a betting man, who are you going for in this one?
Well, you asked earlier what was I looking forward to this season, and I've had a little think about it. And I think if you'd have asked what were your qualms going into the season, I'd have said Trinity Motorsport. Apologies if I got the team name wrong, but yeah, the French lot coming into this league as people are saying, oh yeah, you taking the fight to Younger next season. I'm like, the fight isn't with Younger, I don't think, it's with Trinity. But yeah, rephrasing that, looking forward to the battle that they're going to bring to the table. Betting man, I'd say Trinity. I'd say if it's not on I've lost his name now, where has he gone? If it's not on Lenny, it's on Thomas for sure. But that's not to rule out Cody or Jan Dragoon or even Gustavo Dalla Valle. It all's on the table tonight.
We will have to wait and see how it is all going to unfold as we are moments away from going racing here in Australia. As you said, the Trinity guys, they are looking phenomenal. And, well, if you didn't know who they were, you know who they are now. Lights are on. It is go in season 11 of Formula Trout. It's a great start. Cody Lawrence manages to slide in between the two Trinity drivers as they head down into turn 1. Is it going to be clean? Looking back in the pack, it seems that everybody has made it through. Look at the gap that Lenny Papon and Cody Lawrence are already trying to pull. They are trying to bolt away at the front of the pack. As we look further back, it is still clean racing. The camera's getting a lovely view of the Melbourne skyline. And back to the racing action now. Side by side, heading into the middle sector. All racing well, all clean through the first lap. And it will be Lenny Papon who leads the race for the time being. But Cody Lawrence in the Younger GP car is not letting him go. The other Trinity driver behind them as well. So it is all very, very close out there. But what a great start from Lenny Papon. He did exactly what he needed to do and got himself going. Jan Dragoon holds on to 4th place. Max Yinger and Giovanni Amorum swapping places further down the order on this opening lap here in Australia. That's Darren Sikloven running a little bit wide to the left right complex. He's going to bang wheels so they're going 4 wide, heading down into the road. And that is ridiculous. There's going to be contact, surely. No, somehow we're all clean through. Brilliant racing, brilliant trust in all the drivers. That is phenomenal, but it will be Lenny Papon who is going to lead the opening lap of this race. Cody Lawrence just behind him, Barbier in P3 and rounding out the podium places. But look at this top 3. Jan Dragoon's holding on behind them, but then there is a gap to Gustavo Dalla Valle, who's had a great start, currently into 5th place. The back drivers absolutely moving out there as the rest of the cars make their way through turns 1 and 2 and onto this, well, I say it's a backstretch. It's not really a backstretch, is it? A move there. I think it was Max Yinger was attempting to have a go on Gustavo Dalla Valle. As we look further down the pack, again, more moves being made. There we see, oh, that's Lenny Papon there, still leading the way out on lap 2. Cody Lawrence holding behind, and now the real question is, when do these guys go to box? Obviously, they've had to qualify on a set of tyres, which they're now starting the race on. Here we see Dave Southard fighting with Siklover for P11 on board with Southard looking back. A little bit of train does the Manx driver falling behind him. Oh, there's a dive bomb there in the background. I believe that was Simon Benoit with a great move on James Kay. And it was indeed Simon Benoit. Fantastic stuff. Case Willems also making moves. He slides past the South African James Kay as well. No, they're tussling out of the corner. Is Kay and the Lioneers driver. And Case will have to hold on to P15 for the time being here in this opening race as we head on to lap 3. Cody Lawrence there to the fastest lap of the race for Younger GP, and he is still holding on to Lenny Papon, holding on to the back of him. DRS will now be enabled as we head down into turn 3 and now turn 4, as it looks like we may have just had somebody DNF from the race. Unfortunately, that is a shame there. On board with Maxi Younger GP team boss racing for CRG this season, and currently in 6th, hunting down Gustavo Dalla Valle in a bit of a Brazilian sandwich there. Do not clip that and take that out of context, please. But he's doing a lot of Kilgore on board with the German, and he is doing a fine job out there at the moment. Once again, we are now basically waiting for the pit stop cycles to come around for the drivers on the softer compounds of tyres. It is going to be not too long until we are seeing some changes. There we see that was Dave Southard making a great move there on Christoph Berzer and sliding his way into the top 10. That'll give him a solitary point if that's where we are supposed to finish, but of course there is still plenty of racing action left to run. It's not all over yet. Same point system as F1, of course, if you're new to Formula Trout. 25 points for the winner, 18 for second, 15 for P3, and so on and so forth. And yeah, that's about it really. Still riding on board as Cody Lawrence, another fastest lap there. He's now putting the hammer down and trying to reel in Lenny Papon as we stay on board with Sikloven in P12 at the moment, following Christoph and Dave in front of him. Meanwhile, further up the track here is Maxi Junger. He has caught up to Gustavo Dale Valle over the previous lap. He looks to be juggling Dale Valle round on the exit of turn 4. Overcorrected the car and it spears him off into the wall. He will drop out of the top 10 and behind Simon Benoit. That leaves Giovanni Amorum to carry the Motorsports name in the points for the time being. A big shame there for Gustavo Dale Valle as Giovanni Amorum trying to get through, does get through on Maxi Junger. And he will take that P5 with gladness as they make their way through former turns 11, 12, 13, whatever they were. And Giovanni Amorum, of course, with his incredibly distinct helmets of that tube of toothpaste, as Anthony Penn tries the move, fails onto the grass. This does not end in disaster, but he will drop places because he's lost a lot of momentum. And he's going to drop down to P16, 17, 18, potentially even further. Oh, and a lock up in front of him as well. So it's all chaos. Cody Lawrence with another fastest lap there. He is really, really pushing at the moment. And he is drawing Lenny Papon in as it stands. We're on lap 5 of the race at the moment, so still early doors. And still over 30 laps left to run in the 38 that we will be running in total today. Well, that equates to around about 200 kilometers, just over 200 kilometers. And of course, you do need to pit. Not only is it regulation as Christoph Börzer runs slightly wide on the exit of turn 3, but your tyres won't last the whole thing anyway. So a little while left to run, but Cody Lawrence is starting to reel in Lenny Papon. Of course, you can be fast in qualifying, but you've got to be fast in the race as well. Christoph Börzer goes round, gets contact from Simon Benoit as he holds the brakes to try and stop himself from spinning, but it is not enough, and Christoph Börzer for Griffin Gaming finds himself pointing in the wrong direction. Oh, there's chaos ahead. There is absolute chaos. Who was that was off the road? I believe that was Agnes Rositis who had a bit of a moment. Meanwhile, here's Felipe Olsen further up the road. He's getting overtaken by Alex Cochrane in the Octane car. And Alex with a nice move there. Of course, Alex being pulled away from going in over to Lander after years of association with those teams. And Philip Olsen will be desperate to claw his way back and get through into that P7. Dave Southard, the Manx driver, is making moves at the moment. He is hooting his way forward in the pack. We know Dave is a very quick driver who unfortunately just isn't that lucky all of the time. But of course, he will be desperate to find his way forward as we are on lap 6 at the moment. Papon still leading. Cody Lawrence closing him in though in P2 at the moment. Hello and welcome to the opening round of the Formula Trout Season 11. If you're just joining us as Anthony Penn runs off the road down at turn 3. Short trip into the gravel, he'll make his way back out. But as I'm saying, hello and welcome. If you've just joined us, you've missed an enthralling opening 6 laps here for the opening race of the 11th season of the Formula Trout League. All the best in Assetto Corsa come to test their on-track streak. It's a phenomenal move. Southard, his move of the race so far, around the outside into the left-hander, phenomenal, but he's lost all the momentum, and Felipe Olsen might have a go into the right-hander. No, he decides against it, but Dave Southard, wow, that was a brilliant move. Super brave into the left-hander. Phenomenal stuff. Oh, Case Willems goes around. That is coming into the final section here. That is the penultimate corner if you classify this bit as a chicane. Maybe just running a bit wide, catching the AstroTurf and going round. So that's both line ears, guys. Going for a spin now. Case Willems, he is currently P14, and that is Darin Sikloven into the pit lane. First pit stop on lap 7. The C3 is the ideal race tyre to be on as we go back on board with Alex Cochrane. The C2, you could probably get a bit of life out of. The C1 is too hard. It's not fast enough to be worth it. Alex currently hauling in the magical Maxi Younger and looking to maybe put an end to the Germans' happiness in P6 at the moment. And looks to the outside. Maxi shuts the door. And that is that was a determined move to lock him out. Of course, Maxi Younger, a phenomenal driver. Of course, being I believe he's a 3-time champion that I want to say up the top. No, he's a 1-time champion of Formula Trout. No, he's a 4-time champion? Oh yeah, he's won some sprint series as well. And the Codemasters F1 Championship back in the day. Yeah, we've got a load of series we used to do. It's a confusing history of Formula Trout. We've got a Wikipedia page somewhere as Case Willems makes his way into P13 with a 4-time champion, Maxi Younger. He knows how to pedal these things. And Case getting his way back into 13th place there. Great to see him recovering after that spin. Lenny Papont still leading the way at the moment from Cody Lawrence as Case then loses out on P13 to James Kay with the DRS. It is only 7/10 of a second separating the leaders. It's even closer between these two as Case Willems looks to the outside into turn 3. Later on the brakes. Oh, a little spin and a little ding, and that's Case Willems around again. He gets another touch from another driver, and it is another spin. This time, not his fault. Case Willems, oh, what a shame, just getting touched around by locking up James Kay. A big shame there on board with Dave Southard, who is running his way round at the moment. Oh, that is a big shame for him. Oh, you can't. Case Willems, he must be the unluckiest man in Formula Trout, surely. Anyway, on board with Dave Southard, the Manx driver, who's in P8 at the moment, still reeling in Alex Cochrane. He's definitely got to be the driver who's moving forward the most at the moment. He is flying as it stands. And there you go. Oh, Alex! A spin for the X10 driver. Great avoiding action from Dave Southard. I think Alex just got it a little bit wrong on the exit of turn 2.
That was Younger.
That was Younger who went round. I thought it was Alex Cochrane. It's actually Maxi Younger who's got round, and he's dropped out of the top 10. Wow, that's a really bizarre spin. You don't really see spins like that. That is very, very strange. So,
the Bottas spin, sort of.
Yeah, kind of. Just maybe got a bit too greedy on the throttle on the exit of the corner. As Dorfman sets his personal best lap of the race so far. The Israeli driver currently P19. As we are closing in on lap 10 of this race. So Dave Southard, who actually has got past Alex Cochrane, now into P6. Oh, a little bit of bumping and moving. And that's allowed Philip Olsen to close into the back of Alex Cochrane. And Alex may be at risk of losing another position if he's not careful. This 3-car battle getting very, very exciting. Onto the main straight, and actually they pulled away with the DRS from the Griffin Gaming driver on board. Alex Cochrane, does he have what it takes into turn 1 with the DRS? Is he later on the brakes? He's got the inside line. But that being said, Dave Southard manages to hold on. A bit of a squirm from Alex Cochrane as well. He used the DRS again. Down into turn 3, Philip Olsen backs out. Alex Cochrane draws alongside, almost banging wheels. Dave Southard has to take avoiding action. Cochrane's still there on the outside, still side by side through the corners into the middle sector, and Dave Southard, super brave, holding on and sweeping around and maintaining that P6 position. Dave Southard, an absolute driver of the day at the moment. He has been absolutely brilliant to watch out on circuit at the moment, with Alex Cochrane doing his thing. And there he goes to the outside once again. We saw a similar move like this from Dave Southard. Alex Cochrane the same moves. He's going to try. He runs a little bit too wide, and that could compromise him. Coming into the final sector, could allow Philip Olsen to have a look potentially. Philip Olsen is going to have a look. He's going to have a go to the outside. But Alex Cochrane is later on the brakes. He locks up slightly, but with that defensive inside line, there is nothing that Philip Olsen can do. And Alex Cochrane will hold on and will possibly have another go on Dave Southard. Oh, if you will excuse me, a little bit of a wobble there for Philip Olsen. and onto the main straight, and somehow we've started lap 11 with these three in the same order as they were at the start of lap 10. No idea how, because they look like they were all about to swap positions and crash into each other, but it just goes to show the quality of racing that we've got here in the Formula Trout League. And of course, if you want to get involved, if you think you've got what it takes watching at home, then of course please head over to the Discord in the description, which is where all the admin is running. You can come along and find out and meet everyone. They're all quite nice, really, and you know, we don't bite, so it'd be a pleasure to have you along for the ride and maybe see you racing if this is maybe a thing, if you fancy giving it a go. Alex Cochrane this time has the inside of Dave Southard on the run into the left-hander, and he's got the move done before.
Yeah, Dave Southard was bullying Alex there throughout that corner. Dave Southard just completely dominated that apex, and looks like Olsen now wants to have a go. Southard might be under threat. Who knows? But brilliant racing from the two of them. Nice, clean, giving them enough room just to manoeuvre. And Dave's into the pits. Dave's had enough.
Yeah. Dave Southard decides it is time for a fresh set of boots on the car. Swap out, new set of rubber, new set of tyres, and he'll make his way out, probably just outside of the top 10. Gustavo Dalla Valle heading into the pits behind him as well. On board with Simon Benoit, who's now in P8 and has actually caught up to the back of this little pack here of Cochrane and Olsen.
I think Cochrane's tyres are done as well. Sorry to cut across, but he's struggling ahead.
No, yeah, it's. I think we're not far off. We're going to be seeing. Wow, what a save from Simon Benoit. I think, yeah, we're going to be seeing pit stops for the front runners not too far off now.
Oh no! There's contact!
Oh! Olsen into the wall! That will surely allow Benoit through. Oh, it's chaos!
They need to come to the pits. All of them.
Oh my goodness me, this is chaos here at Albert Park. Locking up goes Olsen. I think his tyres have reached the end of their lifespan. Oh my goodness me. Formula Trout, always serving up a way to keep you entertained every single time. Oh, it's great to be back. Giovanni Amorum into the pits. He will look like he's actually going to come out ahead of... no, he won't come out ahead of Cochrane and Benoit. Actually, Benoit, or Cochrane and Olsen into the pits rather, so Amorum will come out in P6, which is a pretty healthy position to be in. There is Columba Griffiths, currently P9 now. Haven't talked about them much this race. Good to see Columba back and doing their thing, as always, in the Griffin Gaming car. Making their way into the top 10 as a result of the pit cycle, so that is good to see.
Southwood set to purple in the middle sector, now he's on a new set of tyres.
Yeah, Southern is flying. So, I mean, as I said, he's my driver of the race so far. If we called it now, there was a giant accident or, like, you know, there was an internet outage across the whole world and we had to call the race. Dave Southern gets my driver of the day. Well, he has been superb, just bringing the action to your screen. As we are on board still with Columba Griffiths, the British driver, doing a good job at the moment out there for Griffin. And flying his way through the awkward and twisty middle sector and now into the final sector for this DAC Australian Grand Prix, the opening race of Season 11 of the Formula Trout League. Hello and welcome if you're just joining us wherever you may be around the world. It is a pleasure to bring you all the action. My name is Ross McIntyre and league owner Kilgore Trout alongside me in the commentary box. Simon Benoit still holding on to that P5. He does not want to box yet as we hit lap 14. And none of the front runners have pit either. Up in front of him, Papont, Lawrence, Dragoon and Barbier, none of those guys have stopped yet. So they're clearly happy running fairly long on a harder set of tyres rather, and stopping later on into the race for their mandatory pit stop. Benoit is under a little bit of pressure though at the moment. Giovanni Amorim just behind him on the fresh shed of rubber, so this should be pretty easy work for the Brazilian. It is in fact easy work for the Brazilian, gets it done before the braking zone. Benoit will surely take that as a signal to maybe come into the pits. I mean, look at the pace that the motorsports car has in comparison to the CRG. It's already just disappeared off into the distance on that fresh rubber. And well, that's as easy as that really, isn't it? Stick a fresh set of boots on the thing and it flies. Does Benoit come into pits? Yes, he does. Simon Benoit decides to make the stop on lap 16 of 38. And he will most likely get the undercut done to him by the likes of Alex Cochrane, who we're on board with now. As we continue following around Alex Cochrane to the inside, DRS. Bye-bye, Columba Griffith. Job's as easy as that, really, isn't it? The DRS is very, very powerful here at Albert Park. Kilgore, I don't suppose you could go and change the code like mid-race to stop the DRS being so powerful. Is that a bit much to ask, or?
They keep adding more zones. It's not our fault.
It's the race organisers. Blame them. Alex Cochrane into P8. We are approaching the halfway point in this race now. The front runners are still yet to pit, that being the top 4. So is your money still on the Trinity drivers, Kilgore? You still got your money on Papon as Andy Moreno pits?
Lenny, yeah, he's in a league of his own at the moment. I mean, Cody's doing a good job at staying within a 2-second buffer, just in case he does have a mistake, but it just looks like he's on rails at the moment, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, that is a very, very... I mean, look, he's making it look easy, you know? Like, he's not... doesn't look like he's pushing. He's just out there on a Saturday evening cruise around Albert Park. Obviously, this is a public road when a racing season in town, so this could be him in his Opel Corsa, I don't know. Don't know what he drives, but Lenny Papon is having the time of his life at the moment, just cruising. Of course, Cody Lawrence is keeping him in check. He is there as well, so it's not all doom and gloom for Lawrence, but Lenny Papon. Or it's not all easy going, should I say. It's definitely not doom and gloom. He's leading the race. Cody Lawrence, though, keeping him healthy. It's a bit of a gap to Jan Dragoon behind, and then Barbier behind them as well. But Cody Lawrence, he's still within that 2-second barrier. He can still see Lenny Papon in front of him, which is the main thing. Here is James Kate, overtaking Columba Griffiths, who I believe has just come into the pit lane for a fresh set of boots, and is likely still on cold tyres. And this is on board with Simon Benoit, who has also pitted and is trying to fight his way back through the pack. Maxi Younger, his teammate in front of him. The Swiss driver will have the DRS, and I don't think Maxi will make this too difficult for him. And no, he doesn't, is the answer. Probably got a team boss over there in his ear telling him to be nice to his teammate. He's on fresh rubber and he's looking pacey at the moment. You know what? We've got a team boss next to us as well as the man in charge of the league next to me in the commentary box. Kilgore, is team orders something that you see employed a lot here in Formula Trout? Is it something that you like to do at Oxtown, or is it much more of a just kind of let him race atmosphere?
Let him race until it matters, I guess. Yeah. No, by all means, until anything's on the line, I think it's anything goes. You don't want to spoil the fun. But there's nothing against it. There's it's part of the game. It's strategy at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's necessary, I suppose. If you're in a championship fight, I mean, obviously your driver Steven Stevenson hitting season 10 and then deciding he didn't want to be a part of it anymore. Have you tried to convince him to come back? Maybe as Jan Dragoon pits from P3.
Oh, Ali Gottman's off. I thought I saw him go off. I mean, he's a free spirit, Stevenson. There's no ground in him. He goes wherever the fun is, I guess, or whatever he finds fun. By all means, let him cook.
Let him cook. That is fair enough. And I tell you who is absolutely cooking at the moment is Lenny Papon in the lead of this race. Still holding on as we approach the halfway point and still yet to pit. Jan Dragoon has come out. I believe that is the C3 compounded tyres, I think. It's hard to tell. You can't really tell. The set, of course, it doesn't really tell you either. But he's on a harder compound because it's a harder tyre.
C2. He's on the C2.
Those are the C2. So those will easily go to the end of the race. So he will be absolutely fine in terms of his strategy to the end. It's more just about kind of getting the pace on, as that is Papon now into the pits. He's had enough of cooking. He wants to try some of the food and he wants to try a new set of tyres. Cody Lawrence inherits the lead for the first time in this race, and that's the first time we've had a change for the lead as well. So Papon pits. Cody Lawrence probably isn't far behind. Papon comes out in second place, so it's going to be a battle of the virtual pit crews, and I think the undercut is probably a little bit faster here. So yeah, I think I have to wait and see Papon how far ahead he comes out.
Cody needs to set the lap of his life right now, and
absolutely.
You know, let's see if his pit crew come out. As Dinosaur Cloven goes for an overtake on Olsen, but what's more important, the battle for first. It's not like this overtake's happening.
No, Albert Park is it does not always provide the most exciting of races, but this one has been a good watch so far, at least for me in the commentary box, as Cody Lawrence runs a little bit wide, heading into the penultimate section. And is he going to dive into the pits? Yes, he is. All right, so Cody Lawrence comes in, battle of the pit crews. Here we go. We'll wait and see what tyres he goes on to. I'm going to assume it's the C2 compound of rubber. There is Lenny Papon. Is it Papinta? Papon? I'm really not that sure. Apologies, I am terrible at French. I can speak a bit of German. I can hardly speak English, and I come from the place. So that tells you all you need to know about my language skills. Papon will re-inherit the lead, but Lawrence is not too far behind. And someone actually, I think there was someone exiting the pits behind Cody Lawrence as well. Got a bit of lap traffic in the way, which is frustrating for him.
He's lost time. He's lost time.
Yeah, he has lost a significant chunk of time, actually. Of course, he's got the benefit of the fresh rubber, but he's lost about a second and a bit in that pit stop cycle as the lap traffic gets out of the way, which is very nice of them. But yeah, he's lost a little bit of time there, so he's going to have to work hard to make that all back up, and the tyres are only a lap fresher as well, so he will need to push if he wants to catch back up to Lenny Papon and challenge for the win. We will have to wait and see what is going to unfold in this race. Who do you think is going to win here in Albert Park? Get your predictions in down below. It could be the dream debut for Lenny Papon in that Trinity Motorsports car. They turned up and showed just what they can do, and it is a phenomenal showing so far. Giovanni Amorum doing a great job in P3 as it stands. So we'll have to wait and see how it's all going to unfold. Thomas Barbary, he has dropped down into 5th place in that pit cycle. He's dropped behind Jan Dragoon. So Barbary losing a little bit of time there, while Amorum's actually worked his way through as well in the pit cycle. He's managed to weasel his way up with a very early stop. So Giovanni Amorum, or is Amorum yet to pit? No, Amorum has pit, I think. Unless maybe Yeah, he has pit. So he's managed. So Giovanni Amorum is the big gainer at the moment. As I say that, Jan Dragoon actually makes his way past him. But Amorum is the big gainer at the moment. And there is Jan Dragoon. Now back into the podium places. Lap traffic having to let them through. This battle for the podium very, very close indeed. These two drivers all pretty tight with each other, as the battle for the lead still rages on. And Cody Lawrence currently not... Can't speak English, oh my goodness. Closing the gap down. There's Jan Dragoon. A little bit defensive there just to hold off Amorum behind, but I don't think he needn't worry because Amorum is quite some distance away. There's Albert Park putting on a spectacle here in Formula Trout. It's great to see everybody back in and doing their thing. Here we are on board with the 828 of Thomas Barbary. currently in P5. Cody Lawrence, though, sets the fastest lap. He's got a tendency of doing that. He somehow sets fastest lap and then doesn't really bring the gap in that much, although he did take about 3/10 out of Papont's lead with that last one. So Kenny Lawrence, or Cody Lawrence rather, flying at the moment. We are still on board with Barbary, who is closing in on the Brazilian of Giovanni Amorim and will be looking to move up into P4. A very interesting battle as we wait and see how it is all going to unfold. Now, of course, actually that's a good question. Obviously, Kilgore, this race was delayed by a week. Are we racing next weekend, or is it no? Is that whole calendar been pushed? So, okay, so we are racing next weekend. So we'll be back in a week's time. Amazing. Heading to the Red Bull Ring next Saturday. If you're interested and want to come watch. You're more than welcome to. Please come watch. Red Bull Ring always provides chaos in sim racing. And then there's an interesting one. The third round at Kyalami and the fourth round at Fuji. As well, that's an interesting couple of choices there. What kind of inspired those ones to be on the calendar?
We wanted a more exotic calendar. The last season provided a very clinical, Kunos-friendly calendar, and I thought, let's branch out a bit more this season. So yeah, Suzuka has taken a step back from the calendar, and we've got Fuji instead. And Kyalami's always, everyone seems to be calling out for Kyalami, so let them eat cake. Southwards into the pits, and so does Cochrane, their second pit. Interesting.
Yeah, so a two-stopper there. Very, very interesting. We're on a lap 23 of 38 now. So getting into crunch time, and they clearly think they can make a two-stopper work, and if it gets in points, it could well work. So that, of course, is absolutely cooking out there at the moment. He is flying. So we'll have to wait and see how it's all going to unfold. Thomas Barbary is closing in on Giovanni Amorim as we speak. I don't think he's going to be long till he's right on the back on him. Can't get close enough in the DRS for the braking.
Oh no!
Oh no! Amorim gets it a little bit wrong, and through slides Barbary into P4. Giovanni Amorim just could not quite handle the pressure from the Trinity driver, and the Trinity driver slides on through and gets that P4. But Giovanni Amorim, of course, he's still there. He's still got the DRS. Little mistake isn't going to take away from what's been a great day so far for Giovanni Amorim. So we'll have to wait and see how he's going to respond after that little incident there. Of course, Bag Motorsports, another classic, I think it's safe to say, of Formula Trout. Of course, you've got all the old teams who've been here from the very get-go. Bag Motorsports is one who came through in the last couple of seasons, but really have made a name for himself, and a very popular bunch of guys. I really like them. They sent me beer for Christmas once, so they're always in my good books. And yeah, they've really made a name for themselves in the few seasons that they've been hanging around. But that being said, Barbary has got a lot of pace on board that Trinity car at the moment. So Giovanni Amorim might have to sit and be patient here on lap 24 of 38, 14 laps left to run in this race. And it is still Lenny Papon leading the way, although Cody Lawrence is sort of eaten away at the gap, but not by much.
You're right there, yeah.
Yeah, it's not close between them. Yeah, Lenny Papon still has the advantage, but Cody Lawrence is slowly reeling him in. Of course, he's got tyres that are a lap fresher, so I don't know. It could be anybody's guess as to who's going to come out on top in this one. And still on board with Giovanni Amorim, who is putting up a little bit of a fight with or trying to put up a fight with Barber anyway.
He's definitely doing that, and Barber is just dragging him closer and closer to the Dragoon as well, I've noticed.
Yeah.
So that, Giovanni's just biding his time at the moment. He's just set a purple in the first sector.
Well, it might be a good thing maybe to be following Barbary. Just, see his line, see where he's faster, follow the leader and all that, because it's, Amorim is Actually, I think he's running a little bit better since behind him. And again, Barbary is closing on Yandragoon, and Morum can sit in the slipstream, save a little bit of fuel as well. Which means he won't have to worry about that later on. He's going to try and move to the outside. Oh, it's a little bit wrong though. A little bit too keen, not enough grip, and Barbary will slide back on through. It's P4, but Morum has turned up the wick a little bit in this fight for P4. That's interesting to see how it's all going to unfold. On board now with Darren Sikloven, who is doing his thing at the moment. Can't complain about it. He's P12 as it stands, doing a good job. Not much else to say about him really, is there? He's currently trying to fight for position with Columba Griffiths, who's just in front and just on the outer edges of the top 10. And yeah, these guys have been running pretty well, you know. There's nothing I can really say about, you know, nothing I can say that's bad or good. You know, they've just been doing their thing, and I can respect that. I believe we have had a few retirements from this race. Unfortunately, you can't see them because we've got so many drivers that the timing tower doesn't actually cover all of them.
Right, so the retirements are Anthony Penn, Leslie Peters, Agnes Rositis, and Aro Madi, I believe.
Oh, there you go. Thank you very much, Mr. Kilgore Trout, for reading that out, because, yeah, the timing tower doesn't show everybody because we've got so many drivers out on track. Dave Southard's just set a fastest lap of the race on his fresh set of C3s on the alternate strategy. He's just gone past Philippe Olsen into P8 as well. I tell you what, that two-stopper might have been an inspired move by Dave Southard, because he is absolutely racing out there. He is flying. Yeah, no, Dave Southard, he's in with an opportunity for a very strong finish here today, I think, as we are on now lap 27 of 38. Not far to go until the checkered flag is waving and we reach the end. That's kind of what the checkered flag does. It ends the session. I know what I'm talking about. On board with Giovanni and Morum, still in P5 and still following Barbary in P4, and they are still closing in on the Yandragoon as well. 2 and a bit seconds away now, so that could be a potential fight for P3 come the end of the race. We'll have to wait and see. Giovanni getting close there as they head through that corner. On board now with Thomas Barbary. And why don't we listen in for a lap? Let's go on board. Let's listen in for a lap. See what he's doing. See what he does. Let's look back and just listen to the beautiful sounds of RSS V6 hybrid turbos. Here we see Philip Olsen as we finish our Formula Trout version of NASCAR's Crank It Up, I guess. I'm not sure if that's trademarked, but I'm going to say it anyway. Fox Sports, come see me. On board with Philippe Olsen, currently P12. Oh, chaos in front! So Cloven and Junger coming together, and Philippe Olsen goes, thank you very much, and slides through into the points. And, oh, someone blocking up big time there in the background as well. I'll tell you what, Kilgore, it's not been Maxi Junger's finest day out on circuit. He's had a few mistakes here and there.
Morum's in the pits. Trying to go across, but yeah, yeah, that one mistake, yeah, really kind of set him back, to be honest. I can't really speak for the rest of the incidents, but he was looking good up until that one point.
Indeed he was. So Morum comes into the pit, so he's decided that He just wants to hold on to that P5. He should maintain that. So that's really interesting. I was not expecting him to box, but there you go. What do I know? I'm sat in my bedroom shouting into a microphone, watching pretend racing cars. They're actually out there doing the pretend racing cars, so they probably know more than I do, as Benoit tries and should make a very nice spin with Gustavo Dale Valle, but Dale Valle still holding on to the inside. He shoves Benoit out. Very aggressive defending from the Brazilian, and Benoit will have to settle for P7 at the moment. But that was, yeah, I mean, it was legal, it was fair defending, fair racing, but it was hard racing, and that's what we like to see. It's pushing the boundaries of what you can get away with. But again, Benoit as well, holding on the outside. He trusted Dale Valle to not do anything silly, which he didn't. And again, that's always great to see. Obviously, Kilgore, it's a fantastic community that you've managed to build up here in the now 11 seasons of Formula Trout. And what would you say to maybe anybody watching who maybe is thinking about giving it a go, or maybe any relatives watching along, any friends who are just thinking, why am I watching somebody I know doing this pretend race, as Dale Valle also ducks into the pit, so the bad guys also both on a two-stopper. What would you say? You know, it's a nice league, we're all friendly, it's a great atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, the league supports itself. These guys are all kind of friendly. You know, whenever there's an actual F1 race coming on, like, they all jump in the motorsport channel and, you know, all conversing together about what's happening. So yeah, it's a real sense of community, and I mean, it's an outlet for these guys at the same time. It's a way of escaping the happenings, the crazy happenings that are going on in the world, just for a couple of hours. So yeah, I mean, jump on in if this interests you guys, or if you are concerned about your child spending too much time playing pretend cars.
It's not that sad. I mean, it's not. It's not that sad. It might seem sad, but it's not that sad. And obviously, you know, sim racing kind of hitting the tail end of the boom, obviously, that it experienced during the COVID pandemic. Of course, as terrible as those few years were, it was really was fantastic for sim racing. Everyone being sat in their room, a lot of people started to race pretend racing cars, and it's obviously that boom's now kind of tailing off again. We're going a bit back to normality, but there's plenty of fresh faces, plenty of new people are still coming into the back of Maxi Junger. Goes Ciclover, and Junger tags him again.
Griffiths too.
That might have been a bit of a revenge tab from Maxi Junger there, who has somehow managed to hold on to P11 in all of that, and Columba Griffiths have slid in between the pair. Might be a few choice words regarding that incident. We're on lap 31 now. Not far to go in this race. Maxi Junger, not really sure what was going on there. So Clover locked up. Columba Griffiths with a dive bomb with a really nice move. Runs a little bit off circuit. Maxi Junger will have the DRS. Maxi Junger goes through. Oh, and Ciclover's boxed in. They're going to go through.
Oh my god.
They touch. They're both off the road. Maxi Junger is clearly not happy with Ciclover. That wasn't aggressive defending, that was angry defending, and they both touched, and actually Junger has come off worse there and he's lost the position. I think there will be a fair few choice words between these two. I mean, again, it's a nice community, but you know, it's the heat of racing. They'll have a few moments of anger and then it'll all be calm and they'll be the best of mates again. That's how it works here in Formula Trout. Giovanni Amorum now with the fastest lap in P5. He's got Simon Benoit behind him, 14 seconds away. He's in a pretty comfortable P5, but he's also quite away from Barbier in P4, so he's going to be probably cruising home for that P5 place, but may as well set the fastest lap while you're out there. Why not? It's a very solid outing for the bad guys, P5 and P9 as it stands. On board with Dave Southard, who has been magical out there today. The Manx driver has been putting on a display as he puts in a little power slide as well for all you watching at home. Maybe he knows we're on board with him. It has been a great race for him today, and well, I would say to head to formulatrout.com/vote to vote for your driver of the day, but you can't do that because we don't have a driver of the day voting system. But he's been my driver of the day. He's not put a foot wrong. He's put on some spectacular overtakes. Kilgore, any nominations for your driver of the day so far?
Yeah, I mean, you're right there with Southard. He's up there I mean, you can't fault Lenny. At the end of the day, driver of the day is who puts in the best performance. And Lenny's just on the top step practically throughout the race. There was a moment where, Cody managed to get ahead during the pit stops, but Lenny soon put that to rest. So yeah, the Frenchman, he takes my vote.
There you go. Heard it from the man himself, Trout, nominating his driver of the day, but of course there's still a few laps left to run. Anything could happen. That could all change. On board with Darren Sikloven, and Maxi Junger is back once again. They're fighting with Columba Griffiths. 3 wide out of the corner. Maxi Junger is driving like a man possessed. He is not happy with the DAC driver in front of him, who running that banana livery today. That will be updated in the coming races. But they're in a banana today, it must be said. With the back to sort of the other DAC driver, who is closing in on Benoit. He wants to make it P6. He won't have the time to catch up to Amora unless Amora makes a mistake, but P6 if he gets it, and he will get it by the looks of things as he sweeps around the outside. Great move there from Dave Southard. Another wonderful overtake, and he should now bring it home in a very, very comfortable P6, and that is a great display from him. He's been driving phenomenally again.
I've always said it. The only thing that lets him down is a 1 lap pace. But give him a race, and he's the one you'll be betting on.
Yeah, Dave Southard, he's always puts on a show come Saturday evening and race time. Here is Maxi Junger, who has got past Siklover.
No, that was I went back to Benoit because I just saw the overtake happening.
Yeah, Benoit's managed to get his way back through, so this battle is not over yet for P6. Dave Southard, of course, has the fresher tyres, but Benoit is still going to put up a fight in the CRG machine. Still holding on with only a handful of laps left to run. This will be probably their final battle of the race, pending a mistake, which hopefully they won't be doing. But Benoit's doing a phenomenal job at the moment. And he's had a very, very good race. Of course, as Southard slides through with the DRS. Could be a bit of a DRS battle to the end between these two as we start lap 35. Lenny Papont still holding on to that lead. Cody Lawrence has cut down it. It's about 2 seconds, but it's slowing, and Cody Lawrence is starting to run out of time.
It's worth noting the best lap times between them. There's 0.02 of a second. Both of them are set at 1:19.3. One's at a 1:19.3.03, the other 3:05. So hats off to Lenny and Cody. But yeah, barely anything between them. Running
super well. They've been absolutely on it today, those two. It's just that Lenny Papont has had the upper hand and is doing a phenomenal job as we on now lap 55,
Columba's
35
out.
even,
Columba's
38 out. As Columba Griffiths out of the race. That is a massive shame. They were running super, super well, and unfortunately it wasn't to be. Columba Griffiths with only a few laps to go. Well, this is a real world motorsport. They probably would still be classified because we are near the end as we begin lap 36. But it's a set of course. It doesn't do that. If you're out of the race, you're out of the race, unfortunately. A shame then for Columba Griffiths. Sikloven and Junger still going at it. Junger currently with the advantage in P11. Can Sikloven do anything? Find his way back through? These two have been bumping and barging for quite some time now. They're pushing each other very hard, and I think they've got a few incidents they might be taking to the stewards afterwards. But we'll have to wait and see. Of course, you can watch all that drama unfold in the Discord. If you haven't joined it, then head over to the description or to the About page or wherever you're watching the Formula Trout League around the world. If you've just joined, if you've missed a hell of a race, and you can check out Christoph Berzer has a go, or Ali Gottman rather has a go on Christoph Berzer and gets through into P13. A nice move there from Ali Gottman. Sikloven onto the back of Junger again, who's defending aggressively. They're side by side. Is Junger going to close the door? Yes, he does. This has been a titanic battle between two greats of Formula Trout. two of the best drivers we've got out there, and they're fighting for P11, which tells you how competitive it is. Here is Thomas Barbary, and he is on the back of Jan Dragoon. Now this could be interesting. We've got 2 laps to go. We're on the penultimate lap of the race, and it could be a late overtake for the Frenchman to make it a double podium for Trinity. Of course, Jan Dragoon in the Yuma car will be hoping to hold on and get a virtual trophy. Do we do trophies? I don't think we do. Do you get like a JPEG of a trophy that says well done?
Sounds like an NFT thing that we should probably go into, but no.
Barbary gets through into P3 with a nice move after a battle, because we were too busy talking about trophies. Yeah, maybe send them like a cupcake if they win or something. There you go. But Barbary slides on through, and he gets that P3, but I don't think that battle is over yet. Here is Gustavo Dale Valle in P9. He is not that far off of Alex Cochrane, who is just 2 seconds up the road as they start their penultimate lap of the race. And Cochrane has got a bit of lap traffic behind him. I believe that is Case Willems there, who's not had the best day today, unfortunately. But we'll have to wait and see. And there, once again, we see Jan Dragoon fighting with Barbary as we head on to the final lap of the race. This is it. Final opportunity. Last chance saloon in this battle for the final podium place. Jan Dragoon, he's not going to get it into turn 1. He's too far away. But with the DRS into turn 3 could be an opportunity. This fine young driver who exploded onto the Formula Trout scene a few seasons ago and set the world alight with his pace, as there's a lock-up for Barbary in front. Is he able to get close enough? Is he able to close the gap? Only time will tell, with about 2/3 of the lap left to run for these two. Lenny Papon is likely making his way into the final few corners, and indeed he is. It has been a phenomenal performance on his Formula Trout debut for the French driver. We thought that Trinity were going to come in. We thought this all-French team were going to come in and prove a challenge. We didn't expect them to come in and do this. Barbary and Dragoon still fighting. Papon, though, he rounds the final corner. He wins race 1 of season 11 in Australia. It's Lenny Papon who takes the checkered flag and the top step of the podium here at Albert Park. Cody Lawrence, as fast as he was, could only manage P2. These two fighting all the way to the end. Dragoon has got through in the final few corners. Heading out of the final turn now. Who's going to get the final podium place? It will be Jan Dragoon, who's going to stand on the top step of the podium. But Barbary, it's super close between them. A great fight, but it's Jan Dragoon who gets it by tenths of a second between the pair of them. What a fight we've seen there for the final podium place. But it will be on the top step of the podium, Lenny Papon. Cody Lawrence will join him alongside Jan Dragoon in P3. Barbara is P4. Giovanni Morum takes P5. Simon Benmar is going to bring it home in P6. Dave Seller will be 7th. Alex Cochrane 8th. Gustavo Dale Valle will be 9th. And Philippe Olsen will take the final points-paying position as Benmar crosses the line for a well-earned P6. A great drive there from him. Elsewhere, further down the order, Maxi Younger finished in 11th. Sokolova finished 12th. Ali Gottman was 13th. Christoph Burrs was 14th. James Kay 15th. Case Willem 16th. Moreno 17th. That's Jake in 18th. Rosen in 19th. Skierman in 20th. Knowles in 21st. Voltsom in 22. I will invite Kilgore to read the rest of the order out, because he's the one with the live timing and can see the rest of them. But it will be Papon who takes the opening race here in Australia with a phenomenal win.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I think the rest DNF, did they not? Who knows? But great race nonetheless. What a crazy last few laps. I mean, unfortunately, we like to catch the race winner across the finish line, but during that we missed Dragoon overtake Barbier. Simon Benoit managed to get up to P6 past Southwood. Yeah, it was pretty chaotic, but very exciting nonetheless. And yeah, let's see, have we got any interviews?
We do have a few interviews indeed. So let's hop over to those. Once again, Papon taking the win, Cody Lawrence in second, and Jan Dragoon in third. We've got Darian Sitcloven ready for an interview, so we'll drag him into the channel, although he is slightly deafened at the moment. So maybe we'll wait for him. Let's bring Alex Cochrane in, and we'll get Alex in for an interview. He's also muted, so that's really helpful. Alex, are you there?
There we go.
Hello.
Yes, he is there. Hello, Alex Cochrane. Well, P8 in Australia, not a bad way to kickstart your season 11. How do you think that went?
It was a bit of a mess, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I finished in the points on track, but I don't know if you caught it. Tagged Felipe's rear wheel in the DRS zone. Obviously it's an awkward point. The corner's coming up. The closing speeds are weird. Hit up into the wall, which I can only apologise for. It was a really good battle up to that point. Yeah, but that wasn't the biggest thing in the world. You get a 5-second gap and it's fine. But second pit stop, came flying down the pit lane. Oh, I'll press the pit limiter button, and Kilgore, you'll enjoy this one. I pressed the neutral button instead.
Oh no.
That's ideal.
I come flying into the pit lane. Vroom! Like, that's not the pit lane button. That's not the pit limiter. So yeah, I sped in the pit lane as well. And yeah, but no, I mean it was it was a good race otherwise. Good to be back. Yeah.
Got some points, I guess.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Thank you very much for putting on an exciting race. There's battles all over. You had a brilliant wheel to wheel with Dave Southwood at one point.
Yeah, that was it was good fun.
That should definitely make a highlight.
Car park section had to back out. Yeah, really good defense from him there as well, and really good undercut too. So props to him.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for the quick interview. Keep the ball rolling. Let's get the next guy in here. Cody, our runner-up. Cody Lawrence, what a terrific debut. P2, why don't you walk us through it?
Well, it was perfect until lap 37. I kind of ran out of talent at T6.
All right. Don't think we caught that, so you managed to fly under the radar.
No. I outed myself. No.
We'll all scrutinize that.
But to answer your question, man, that was a ton of fun. Well done to Lenny. He had the pace. He had the tire management. He had the better of me. But
only just.
That was fun. Was fun.
Either he was really good at managing his pace, or you were constantly on him. I think you kind of let it slip around the pit stop, but constantly within 3 seconds of him. So, man, this is going to be an exciting season.
Well, I hope he does the whole season. I'm going to try to do the whole season if I can, but...
Awesome stuff. That's what I'd like to hear.
But just so I don't hold you here forever, to kind of give you general thoughts.
Go for it.
I know like I was saying, that was a ton of fun, but there's definitely some things I could improve on. I felt like I lost the left front a little bit quicker than I needed to. Like, I just didn't quite manage the tires well enough to have a shot at Lenny, and I think he just did a better job, like you said, with the pace management. But so, like in that first stint, I was staying with Lenny. I was starting to have some more picking some screen terror, and I'm like, I do not want to throw away P2. So there was
bring it home. Bring it home.
Bring it home. I know it's like 10 laps into the race and all, but I just wanted to play a little safe. I fell back a little bit, tried to see if I could get back in later, but
it's a long season.
The pace of Lenny, he's able to do that. He'll pull away.
Yeah, it's a long season, man. Yeah, I get it. Bank the points and just next race we'll win it.
Well, hopefully I have the pace I had here. I think next one's Austria, and I'm not too high on myself for Austria, but we'll see.
Well, I love your enthusiasm, Cody. This is what I like to hear. Great show. I mean, even if you a runner up today, you're still a winner to a lot of people. So yeah, congratulations on banking the points for yourself and Younger GP.
Thank you, and like I said, congrats to Lenny, congrats to Jan. I think him and Thomas had a really hard fight for P3. So
Yeah,
have to
definitely.
have to see it happen there. But you guys have a good night. Thank you for having me.
Nice one,
Appreciate
man. Thank you, Cody. That was Cody, our runner-up for tonight, and let's get the race winner in, hey? Lenny, what a debut! Congratulations on the race win. Yeah, walk us through it.
Yeah, to be first qualifying was quite good. I had a deconnection 4 minutes before the end of the qualifying, but I managed to rejoin just before the last lap. The
Right,
last lap was
yeah, I
quite
think I
good.
saw that. Yeah, I was wondering why you weren't
Yeah.
moving.
The last lap was quite good. Could have been a bit better, but it was enough for pole position, so not gonna complain with that. And yeah, the race was also quite good. It was really calm, to be honest. Just the back markers who were a bit difficult to manage, but yeah, it was quite a good start.
Yeah, congratulations on manoeuvring your way through the back markers unscathed. Yeah, I mean, it looked pretty straightforward from you. There was a point where Cody managed to get ahead for like a lap, but you soon sorted that out, and yeah, you pretty much managed it to the end of the race. So should be a very exciting season between you two and also your teammate. Let's not rule him out either.
Yeah. I think it will be a pretty exciting season with Cody and my teammate. Maybe other drivers also, but yeah, I think it
I
could
don't
be
know
a
if
very
you're
exciting.
aware, Lenny. Sorry to cut across, but you're the first, well, at least the first competitive French team to compete in Formula Trout. So this is quite exciting for us. This is uncharted territory. Yeah, well, congratulations on being our first French winner, I believe.
Thank you.
And yeah, to many more, I guess.
I think, yeah, I hope so also. So don't really know if I will be here at the next race, but yeah, I hope so also. So
Yeah.
I hope there will be another win. So yeah.
Well,
Gonna be working for that.
Let's see when you're back, if you can keep up that momentum. But congratulations again, Lenny, and we'll speak soon.
See you soon.
Okay, that was Lenny, our race winner, and let's get P3.
Everybody wants an interview, doesn't it?
I know, it's really not normally like this. So Jan Dragoon got P3, didn't he? He stole at the end. So
Jan Dragoon was P3, yes.
So our P4 for tonight, Thomas. How do you pronounce your last name, Thomas?
Barbieri.
Barbieri.
That was close. There you go.
Yeah, you did really well.
In English way.
Congratulations on the P4. I'm sure you're gutted that you didn't get P3, but it was so exciting between you two. Your strategy just came alive at the end. You were just taking over everyone. Walk us through your race.
Yeah, good quality. I had a bit of luck with not getting impeding or something like that. So that was a great quality P3. Not so good in quality in general, so I will take that. And yeah, in the race wasn't particularly good. I'm a bit disappointed by my pace and how the race gone. But yeah, at the end, the strategy was working well with the C1 tires. But I'm not gutted to lose P3 just by losing P3. Just by the way I lose P3, then I'm a bit upset, but it's life.
Yeah, I mean, Jan Dragoon is a veteran. He is, one to watch out for this season. It looks like you two might be coming across each other more than this race. But yeah, really exciting stuff, Thomas. You put on a great show for us. Are you going to be racing in Austria next week?
I should, yeah. I mean, there's no reason to not be here. But yeah, for the team with Lenny winning, I'm not surprised by that. But yeah, that's a good 1-4, maybe 1-3. We'll see what we'll say about this incident at the end.
Okay, fair enough.
We'll see. I don't think I will get penalized. So
yeah.
And I've got, I think, enough gap with P5. So yeah.
Well, there's going to be a lot of action for the stewards tonight, I'm sure. But thank you very much, Thomas. You great debut. I'm sure there'll be more action from you next race.
Yeah, Austria wasn't my favorite track.
Well, there we go then.
Especially with this new layout.
Yeah, true.
I don't like. So yeah, I think Austria will be better. Academy will be way better.
There we go.
It's one of my favorite tracks. So yeah.
Watch out, guys. Thomas has got his fighter talk on. So yeah, Austria next week. Thomas P1. This is what we want to see. Yeah,
maybe not.
but thank you, Thomas. Brilliant. Thank you for the interview. We'll speak soon. Yeah.
Thank you. See you next week, then.
See you next week, bro. Okay. So a lot of people to interview. So we done Cody and Lenny. Let's get Maximilian Younger in, shall we?
Go on.
Oh, it's going to be a heated interview with Maxi. How's it going, Maxi?
It's all right. It's not heated. Don't worry about it.
Well, I mean, considering where you started and where you finished. Not great, but it was exciting. Did you
get to see what happened a little bit? The battles and such?
Yes. We were following you throughout the whole thing. There was.
Oh wow.
You were doing really well up to one point, and then you got you spun out.
Yeah, it was just my own mistakes, really. Mostly, like, I just couldn't keep it on track today. I don't know what happened. I mean, I know what happened. I just drove a bad race. But I just kept going backwards and backwards because I spun the first time and I was still in a decent position. I was 6th still, I think.
Yeah.
And then I spun again and I was 8th. Oh, well, it's not so bad. And then I spun again and I was 10th. Well, still points.
Yeah.
And I had another moment, and then that sent me out of the points. I was still battling for P10 with Olsen, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then me and Darian kept coming together repeatedly.
Yeah.
I got a rewatch. I was just rewatching the footage. He crashed into my back at one point, and then at some point we crashed in T1. We had multiple moments. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's gonna be great for the steward panel later.
I don't know how much they're gonna get because I don't know. Like, we'll see. This was like 3 incidents. They'll get some work.
They'll be cancelling each other out, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm sure you guys can come to a compromise.
It's definitely his fault. There's no cancelling out.
Well, we got Darian up next, so what do you want to leave this interview with?
All right. Well, he's gonna say a lot of mean things. He didn't like that, I think.
Fair enough.
He almost broke my wrist after the finish because I have a fairly strong wheel, and he got a bit frustrated, so he crashed into me after the finish line. It destroyed my hand.
All right, well...
Anyway, thanks for commentating, and unlucky race from me, but it's no biggie.
Yeah, you put on a good show, though. Thank you very much.
I hope the stream enjoyed it.
Yeah. Nice one. Thank you, Maxi.
See you.
And then let's get Darian in, eh? Darian, who was, I believe it was showing everyone a race replay. Why don't you talk us through what you were just showing everyone, Darian?
Oh, hi.
Hi there, Darian.
I forgot I was in the waiting for interview channel. So, I was just showing the race, how eventful it was at the start for me. Clearly, this was the most eventful race that I had until this point.
Yeah.
So many incidents in such a short span amount of time. I had to pit very early at the start because my wing was on red. Christoph did a little mistake, and it happens, I guess,
Yeah.
I had to change my strategy up a bit from C3, 1 C3 and 2 C4s to 1 C4 and 2 C3s. I never tested this, but I said, you know what, if it's gonna last, it's gonna last. We'll see how I do. But let's forget about the strategy for a second. Did you see the top speed that I was having in the front, in a straight line?
No. What were you struggling with? You?
Yeah, I was driving a tractor. I couldn't get past 300. Even more, I couldn't get past 295 with full attack mode. Yeah, I don't know what I was given by my team. I'm not gonna make my setups for this season. It's my take it easy season this time around.
Okay.
So,
well, good luck with that.
Do you mind if I go back into waiting for interview?
No, you do that. Thank you very much for your interview, Darian. We'll see you next week. And I believe that is everyone. No, let's get Case in. Go on. Case.
Gotta get a case in, come
Gotta
on.
get a Case in for an interview. It wouldn't be an interview without Case. How's it going?
I'm doing pretty good, to be honest. Ross, I've missed you so much. It's
Hello,
been so
missed
long
you
now.
too.
But yeah, walk us through your race.
Well, it wasn't that bad, to be honest. Well, I mean, my strategy didn't really pack out because I need to check the replay on what exactly happened. But I was in a couple of incidents with what was it? Once with Darian, once with James K, and once with Anthony Penn, I think. Which I don't really know why. I think I left them enough space, but I will have to check. But apart from that, for me the car was really on fire, to be honest. Especially my last 10-lap stint on the C4, so I was flying. Like, I don't know, I felt really confident on the track, and at least with this car I feel a lot more confident compared to last season's car, the VRC Formula Alpha. So that's at least a good sign. So yeah, unfortunately a couple of incidents, but apart from that, I'm feeling relatively confident in the car now.
Well, I mean, you looked good out there until you made a few mistakes. You were looking on top form, Case. So yeah, by all means, keep up the good pace.
Yeah, I had to do a couple of ARCA breaks, but luckily they worked mostly.
But yeah, no, it's good seeing you out there. And yeah, Austria next. You normally do pretty well there, don't you?
I think so, yeah. Turn 3 obviously is always a bit of a challenge with the way that it inclines. But I'm really excited for it. Obviously, there's going to be lots of orange this time.
Yeah,
Hopefully
yeah,
also
yeah.
for us.
You're right. The Orange Army will be there in their masses for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see you then, shall we?
Yeah, well, I hope so. How about you, Ross?
Maybe. I think possibly.
Well, on that note, we'll hopefully see everyone else watching the stream next week as well. Same time next week, Austrian Grand Prix. It's gonna be spicy. The qualifying is gonna be a mess. But yeah, thank you very much for watching tonight. And I've been Kilgore. He's been Ross, and we've been Formula Trout. What else can we say other than
Bye.
Get ready for the graphs.
good night, guys.